Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips to success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Jim Holden on the line. He's founder and executive director over at Fish for Life. Jim, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Adam.
So when I got the request for the interview on this one, I was like, oh my gosh, what you are doing is absolutely amazing over at Fish for Life. So I just want to really jump right into it. So it's a nonprofit program. Let's just start there. So tell us a little bit more about the nonprofit and why you started it.
Okay, well, what we do is we take special needs kids fishing, unlike any program in the world. And Adam, why we do this, there's 2.5 million youth in the United States with learning disabilities such as Down syndrome, autism, cerebral palsy, to name a few. Autism in particular, it's an epidemic. I mean, 1 out of every 59 kids being born now have autism. And the therapeutic demands for these families, day to day, it just keeps them and their parents in the shadows. Doing normal, fun things seem out of reach for them at times. And Fish for Life is fun therapy, but much more than that. It's a new experience that improves self-esteem. It introduces new horizons for other normal activities that they would have otherwise not considered, and just breaking the barriers of perceived or real limitations. Who else benefits? We have volunteers. In fact, the model on a trip is we'll have 30 special needs kids, 30 chaperones, and then 40 volunteers. And among the volunteers, we'll have non-special needs kids. It's a great learning experience for them to break down stigmas about special needs kids. We'll serve them appetizers before and after, a real nice buffet-style lunch. We have wounded warriors aboard, great therapy for them. And I'll tell you, the program, the therapeutical benefits on these trips is just tremendous. In fact, our motto is we're spreading the love one boat at a time.
Man, I love that, and it really, when I saw this, it just took me back to childhood. I'm like, man, some of my favorite things I did were just me and my cousins going. We couldn't eat the fish where I'm from. Well, not at that time. I doubt you still can. So I grew up in Michigan, and where we used to fish, just the Detroit River, and obviously, again, couldn't eat them at that time. But that being said, I remember just going out there, and it was just one of those bonding things and those moments. And when you think about therapeutic and all these other things, I'm like, man, why don't I do that anymore? In my adult life, I have no idea. I'm like, I'm doing something wrong here, Jim.
Right.
So I'm looking at your. I have to ask. So I'm looking at the images online, and I see this big, beautiful boat. I think it says Dana Pride, and it's of one of your trips. And I have to ask. There's a lot of people on that boat. How do you pay for this stuff? We have fundraisers, 2 big fundraisers a year. We have one coming up on March 14th in Dana Point during the Festival of the Whales. It's a big clam chowder cook-off. We'll have 1,000, 1,500 people there. And then on May 16th in San Clemente, we'll have a Texas Holden tournament. And there, that involves 150 players, first come, first serve. And at every table, we have an NFL or a baseball player with a bounty on their head. And that's fun because if you knock out, one of the NFL or baseball guys, they have to get up, take the walk of shame up to the stage, get a hat to the team they played with, come back, sign it, and get a photo op, So there are two big fundraisers. Beyond that, we have, different foundations that help pay for the trips. We'll get, 5,000 here, 10,000 there. And then companies. It's a great CSR, corporate social responsibility. opportunity for companies. Hyundai, for example, they sponsored a trip last year. And in that case, we could load the boat with volunteers and families that work for companies. So that's really developing, and we're getting more interest there as well. But Adam, the model, I'll explain the model briefly because, like I say, there is nothing like this in the world. We've been doing it for 11 years now. Most of the trips have been out of Dana Point, with the exception of 2 in Long Beach, 1 in San Diego, 2 in Ensenada, 2 in Chicago, and 1 on a lake outside of Dallas. So we've proven it can be anywhere. But the model's the same. And what we do is to begin with, the trips are all free to everyone on board, and we want that to remain so. The kids show up. Everybody gets a T-shirt. That creates some fun synergy on the boat. They'll once they check in, then we'll use the stern of the boat as a podium where we'll have local mayors and some ball players say a few words to honor the parents and the kids. Then we have someone say a prayer, and then we have a young lady sing the national anthem. Then we roll a red carpet down the gangway, and we introduce our honored guests one person at a time.
Wow!
And that's a big deal for them.
It's a huge deal.
Recognized, acknowledged. In fact, I had one Down syndrome young man came to mind. He called me 3 times before the trip, changing his little bio, And on the third time he said, make sure they know I'm a black belt. So anyhow, they come down the gangway, and then they go through a ton of volunteers, giving them high fives, waving them on. We board the boat. We create fishing teams. We'll have 15 fishing team leaders assigned to typically 2 child and 2 parents. So we create teams, then we shove off to the theme song of the Pirates of the Caribbean. We go over to the bait barge, load up on bait, and then the sheriff department escorts us out of the harbor, putting on a water show.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, on board we have Fish and Wildlife and also NOAA representatives, and this is for educational purposes. I mean, these kids, more than anything in the world, they just want to be normal, and we treat them normal, and we educate them. And specifically, like the autistic kids, their minds are just brilliant, even though they're not socially developed or, they've got challenges there. They're brilliant. And so we'll go out, we'll stop at the first buoy, for example, and explain the difference between seals and sea lions. The fleet is out ahead of us, so if there's whales, dolphins, we'll go see them. And then we go around the bend out of Dana Point, that is, and we'll dock just south of Laguna, or anchor south of Laguna. On the way, we're flying kites, and there's just a bunch of things we do to entertain them. One of the big things is we'll get the attention of the kids on the stern and teach them a dance they can all do, even the kids in wheelchairs. And then a buddy comes around the back. Yeah, and a buddy comes around the bow with a private boat. He'll drop off 2 divers that go under our boat, and then a mermaid. And,
no way.
And that's a surprise. And we stage that, as if we, don't know her. It's like, hey, where'd you come from? And she'll say, oh, I was just going up to Newport. I thought I'd stop by and say hi. And same thing with the divers. When they pop up, we're like, hey, buddy, where'd you come from? And say,
you're just hanging out.
We were diving for lobster. We saw this beautiful mermaid, And then after she performs and does her thing, to justify her getting on a boat to go back to the dock, we'll say, hey, would you go back to the dock so the kids can get pictures? And then we'll wave down my buddy like we don't know him. It's like, hey, buddy, we give her a ride so she doesn't have to swim all the way. So on the boat,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And then on the way back to the harbor, we'll have then the volunteers get up after just a great day of fishing. We have some really skilled anglers on board. We always catch fish, and we make sure of that. And then it's up to the parent or the child. If they want to keep them, we'll fillet them for them and all that, or released. But on the way back, we'll have the volunteers then get up. We'll have a PA,
and say a few words about the child, about what they caught, something funny, whatever. And then we also use that opportunity to give the child an opportunity to express themselves. Some do, or most do, some don't. And that's adorable. I mean, we'll have some kids that they won't say a peep the whole trip, and they get that mic and they'll start singing.
No way.
So, yeah. So, and it's neat, too, to see from the beginning of the trip, some of the kids rather reserved, and then towards the end of the trip, just open up. And I mean, it's just because, man, all the volunteers, everybody on board is there for the right reasons. These kids feel so loved, and it's just a beautiful experience. And then when we're coming back into the harbor, then we'll hop back on the PA and we'll say, oh boy, we got a problem. The mermaid's on the dock, but she was tied up by pirates.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's terrible. So we need your help. And we'll say, hey, pirates can't stand to get wet. So we pass out water guns to all the kids. And as we're docking, then they'll let them have it with the water guns. Then we have a volunteer. A little man, Kyle Pasek. He's an actor, and he'll get off and confront the pirates, and reason with them. and that's designed as a lesson not to bully, And then it ends with the pirates saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're please forgive us,
Wow.
So in a nutshell, that's the model, and then within it, there's just so many little details that just add up to a real memorable experience.
Wow. Well, I can tell you for me, Jim, it's pretty memorable on my end just hearing this. You're talking about an event and a nonprofit for kids. I'm like, how do I buy a ticket? This sounds fun.
No, it is.
I've been on the whale, the sightseeing, this. I'm like, wait a minute, this is like dinner, theater / this is amazing production that you put on. But obviously, it's just an amazing cause. It's amazing. I can imagine. And a lot of the things and themes you mentioned, showing recognition, teaching them, educational. You really have created something amazingly unique that I've never heard of. I mean, some people say that, but no, I've never heard of anything. And I can see it's taken, over a decade to really perfect the model. And I'm sure you're always tweaking things, and it's just very orchestrated. It's quite a production. So, Jim, if somebody is listening to this and they want to find out how to get involved, whether it's making a contribution or volunteering or just learning overall more about the program, what's the best way for them to get that information?
Well, they can go on our website, which is www.fish4life.org, or they can give me a call at 949-285-8819.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Jim, it's really been a pleasure having you on the show. Love the great work you're doing and all the kids that you're helping, so thank you for that. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. Don't forget, check out fishforlife.org and you can see the amazing pictures and things that Jim was talking about. It's a great cause. And also don't forget, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review, do all those great things you do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And Jim, thanks again for coming on the show.
Hey, my pleasure, Adam. Thank you for inviting me. And for everyone listening, have a great day. And whatever your passion is, follow it.